So.
All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's go.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda for today? So moved.
Second.
Any additions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a resolution to approve the minutes of August 12th, August 10th, I'm sorry.
Second.
Any changes to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next thing is public participation. Anybody like to be heard? What?
I'd like to know, why the town of Owasco wants to get into real estate business. Why are we up monkeying around with, the Lakeview Country Club? Are we involved in that? Why do we need to spend $1 million buying some property up there? Cause somebody don't want some panels on them. When the panel man pays taxes, but the town don't. So that's what I'm saying. You can't take that off the tax rolls and expect this town to have something going on up there and not have to take care of it. I don't know how you do that. So now it costs you money to do that. So besides the tax roll money you lose the money, you gotta send somebody up there to work on it. I don't understand that. I don't know what you're doing with the property up there, but I think personally you need to put out a little bit more about it to the people of the town. Not enough discussion about that. I think you need to do that a little better. That's my own personal opinion, but I think you better do something in that direction.
Anything else you want to add before I reply?
No. you
Okay.
go ahead and reply.
All right, be glad to reply. One is the original proposal came in, they want to put a solar panel up there from 50 feet outside of Bevier Road all the way across to past the second fairway. Secondly, you're incorrect about the solar panels paying taxes because they were applied for a pilot program, would not pay any taxes. Secondly, we got involved because neighbors up there didn't want solar panels 50 feet from their backyard, especially on Glenbrook, and the people didn't want to look at it over on the new development as well. And so what we did was we developed a new overlay district for solar panel companies so that when people did come in for solar panels, that they would not take away recreational land, they would not take away good farmland. We did it by soil types. And so we did overlay districts to prevent taking good land out of use. And I think the local farmers here, and Jim probably would support this idea, that putting solar panel on good farmland is a good idea of use of farmland.
I firmly agree with that.
So the other thing that we were looking at is the wetland area was identified as a high impact wetland area that goes in and feeds Owasco Lake. And so protecting the wetland area was a priority, and we are looking for getting a state grant, and anything that we did, we are not involved with that already is taking off the tax roll because the Art Conservancy bought it through a grant from the Rowing Foundation for $1.45 million. So a not-for-profit already bought that, so it will be coming off the tax rolls no matter if the town gets involved or not, because that's the reality. They bought it, they own it, and we can't prevent a not-for-profit from buying that piece of property. So secondly, and only the motion that the town did so far was to approve to apply for a grant to get up to $500,000 out of the cost of the land, which is $900,000. So we would apply for a grant up to $500,000 to help pay for part of that grant. So and everything up to that was depending upon that approval, which we will not find out for at least another couple of months. So we have no intention of going forward with anything until we find out the results of that income. So unfortunately, the paper, when they printed something in the paper, it wasn't 100% accurate. So people come to board meetings without calling ahead of time and getting the information by picking up the phone and say, hey, what's going on? I would have been more than happy to tell you that instead of wasting your time coming here.
You're not wasting my time.
Okay, but that's basically what happened is,
I've had this room for many hours.
I know you have. Well, first time I've seen you in a long time and I haven't seen you so upset in a long time. So, but that's the answer to the question. It's, we are awaiting the results of that. And, anybody else want to add to that?
Maybe just to clarify, the statement made by the individual that currently owns a property is an untrue statement that we're buying this for $900,000 in the fall. I mean, it hasn't happened. We have no contract in place. We haven't.
They haven't discussed it.
Yeah.
So as,
So
I
I,
answered this question. They said there was gonna be 12 acres involved in that thing with the outfit out of Skinny Act. 12 acres, that's what it said anyway.
they wanted to take out, all they want is a
12
club.
acres. So
all
you
they
gotta
want is a-
subdivide the property or somebody does.
Yep,
he does.
Town has to do that too.
no,
Now you got 900, you got about 200 some more acres up in there. Why don't you get a hold of the people who wanna put hotels up and look over this lake and look over there?
it's not
Did
my,
you ever
pro-
hear of Woodcrest up there, Woodcliff in Rochester? You ever been there?
nope,
Woodcliff in Rochester looks over 490, not a great view. Looks over the Eastview Mall, not a great view, but you know what? They rent it out all the time to corporations and everything for conference rooms, hotel stays, and they have a 9-hole golf course with it.
we don't even own it.
What?
We don't own the golf course.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
But they said you were going to.
No, if we,
You said you were gonna take part of the profit.
if they said if we were potential buyers, and if we got the grant, we would turn it into a trail area, not a golf course. And that was, and for recreational purposes, for people to go up there and walk and to cross-country ski, snowshoe, that kind of stuff year round. So they had a lot of interest in the I probably had more positive comments than I have negative comments on that golf course. And so what happens too is if we do get the grant and we want to go forward with it, what would happen is, depending on the vote at this board, if it's 3 votes, it would go, if 3 votes positive, 2 votes no, we would have to go out and do a referendum for a public vote. If it's 4 votes, it'd be a permissive referendum. So depending on the outcome of the results of that, if we wanted to go forward. So at that point, we would make it public. We would have public hearings. We will let people know, but we are not doing anything at this point. So people at the golf course are upset because they're losing their golf course. They lost their golf course no matter what. They had other people potentially wanted to buy that place and they were willing to pay more than what these people bought it. And so the reality is they didn't support the golf course. They couldn't make money on it. They were overcharged on taxes. Looking and talking with the assessor, they were paying almost $55,000 a year. They're the highest paid assessed property in Owasco, which they shouldn't have been based on what the comparables with the other 2 golf courses were. So the reality is that probably would have been cut in half next year anyways, because they were being overcharged. So there, and if the owner, and I explained that to the owner today, he didn't realize that he was being overcharged. He said if he had another extra $25,000 he could have put back into the business, he could have probably made it and not had to sell it. But he was being overcharged in tax wise for many, many years. And it's unfair, that he had to pay that much money in taxes. So that's the reality of what had happened.
I know that they were in trouble up there because they haven't had a good golf course in years. I played golf my whole life.
Yep.
I played all of it. But that doesn't mean, that we need to take it over and make walking.
It was
We
a,
got enough walking trails around there with the park up there and all the stuff around here we have already, and the ag museum and everything is off tax rolls now. You got all that off tax rolls up there.
well, it's been a tax roll.
You haven't had,
Yeah,
except Deauville Island wasn't until they took it away from
yeah, that was Fleming.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
them. Probably before your time.
yeah, it was. Yeah,
He
I
always,
don't think I was born yet.
he always talks about 3 votes or 4 votes. He always just assumes I'm voting no.
Yes, but
You have the right to vote whatever way you want.
That's right. And we respect that, but that's the, you know, so we have not taken any action whatsoever, so, you know, I cannot tell you how many people, in the last couple of days came in here and, how many emails I've got, both positive and negative, you know, so, you know, we haven't done anything yet. So nothing has been done, and the reality,
As a citizen president, I don't know why they did that if they didn't tell the truth.
well, here.
Nobody
That's
tells the
amazing.
truth
That's
anymore.
amazing How that did happen.
They took the story from somebody.
Yeah.
Wasn't accurate, they should have got a reveal.
Well, I'll play you a message that I received, you know, I got nasty messages from that article in the paper. You know, and it's unfortunate that, you know, people believe anything they read in that paper.
Right.
But you can't run a facility like that, even if it's nonprofit up there with trash and everything else, for people to walk, ski, or do anything else. Without Bob Bruno and his band of merry men going up there to keep it straightened out. So that's what my simple thing is right there.
Well,
You know,
that
that
would
costs
be,
money too.
that would be taken into consideration. So-
Okay, as long as we know where we stand, that's all I
Okay.
wanna know.
Okay, thank you, sir. Would anybody else like to speak? Jim?
Jim Seringa. I agree 100% with Fred. I mean, the town does not belong owning any more land. And Bob or whoever, it's gotta be maintained. I don't know any place where there's volunteer help to maintain that. I was up at Carpenter Falls, I believe that's what it is in New Hope, what do they call that? Right there. We spent $1 million, whatever the place looks like. But don't, trash all over, all this big fancy wood, that's exactly what's gonna happen up there, the town gets involved in it. You gotta clean it up, and I don't think it should be off the tax rolls. And in that citizen, I mean, oh, you can't believe everything you heard, but it says quoted by Ed Wagner, we gotta protect the wetlands. I've been in farming for 40-some years, the red tape you gotta go through, if you gotta get near a wetland. Wetlands are protected. So that's a BS on my opinion about town owning is that, and if the town was gonna purchase grants, it ought to still go out to every taxpayer in this town. It's gonna affect their tax roll by a certain amount of dollars. If you wanna apply for grants, well, where's the grant come from? Nobody in this, does nobody pay state or federal taxes?
Come off the grant tree.
You know, it just falls out of the sky. I mean, I'm so sick of hearing, oh, we're getting a grant. Well, BS, we all pay tax.
You realize that if we don't apply for it, it's a competitive grant, the grant's going out no matter what, so you'd rather pay for it and have your neighbors get it, not you?
Well, it's still,
Yeah.
the town ought to have a say in it, not just, I mean, some of our town vehicles, I mean, junk, you know. and What, Dutch Brook, you wanna apply for grants, let's get big rocks, protect something that does good. You know, just all the stuff we got in this town is going to hell, and yet you wanna add more to it for more pain.
Thank you. Anybody else want to speak?
First of all, I would like to know who actually bought the property?
Westlake Art Conservancy,
Is that the same company that's in business now in Skinny Apples?
yes,
They're a nonprofit?
yes,
What?
501c3.
Okay. I don't know why, but. I don't either.
They applied, they had the status, so they got it, so. It's not
Take a
for,
painting over there and see how much it costs to get fixed. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand all the other things. I do wish it were not taken off the tax rolls. At the current tax rate, that amounts to approximately $11 per parcel for the whole town, an increase. So I don't have much more to say other than that.
nothing we can do about it, right? They had to pay this year's taxes until whoever the official owner is of official tax date, which is March 1st. So at that point, the following year's taxes in 2025, they'll comes off the tax roll. Whether we are part of it or not, it's, you know, the only way they could do it if they sell it to someone else who is not a not-for-profit, and it goes back on the tax rolls, but they better do that before the before March 1st, because then it'll be out the tax rolls for a year. So if we don't buy it, let's say by November, they have, or December, you know, right now, they're in the process of applying for a PDD application. They're in the preliminary process of doing that to come up with their plan for that parcel, what they want to do. And as you know, that goes through public scrutiny and has to go through a lot of red tape to get to the final stages of that. So they don't have permission to do what they want to do up there unless they either do a zoning change or apply for a PDD.
There was a sale condition upon these?
Nope. Nope. They bought it. They bought it. Hook, line, and sinker, they're in. Because other people wanted to buy it and they wanted it that badly.
And they had the resources to be able to make that happen in a minute.
In 30 days, they closed in 30 days.
When did they become a 501c3? Because
No clue.
About a year ago, I looked up their financials. They were just submitted their first financial statement at the federal level in June. Been about a year, it looks like. I'm speaking out of authority on that, I'm just saying I did my own research on it.
You have to realize that they're from Skinny Island.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anything else? Good, I could, Walt, there you go. I thought I was done.
You see,
No, yeah, you guys are gonna love me.
there's nobody online that, just so you know.
Okay.
For public participation.
So DEC has a grant program. They're calling it the 2023 Invasive Species Early Detection, Rapid Response and Control for Terrestrial and Aquatic Invasive Species of Plants and Animals. Now, I've been beating the drum on the invasive Japanese knotweed in our county for some time. And I would like to know, do you want me to pursue a grant to try to get some funding for what I suggest is two things, well, three actually. To see if the Watershed Association and the City of Auburn want to partner with Owasco, do an inventory of invasive Japanese knotweed in the watershed. It's a very serious invasive terrestrial species. And yes, it's been here a long time. Every decade, we do nothing about it, it will get worse. The idea would be to, first, we know how much is there. Secondly, we do a demonstration management project. The two most successful techniques for dealing with plants like this are mechanical. Cooperative efforts to deal with plants like this using herbicides are not going to fly in this region. The DEC has made it very clear they're not going to work with amateurs who are using herbicide. So the very successful attempts using volunteers in the Adirondacks, award-winning programs from organizations as radical as soil and water conservation districts, have thought that that approach was fantastic. This Region 7 DEC people with herbicide said there's no way they're going to support that. So I'm recommending we try a mechanical approach. If you compost invasive plant materials over 130 degrees Fahrenheit with an aerobic technology, you can kill the plant biomass. Unfortunately, the town highway department is doubtful they have enough room for the one of either of the two approaches, but they got plenty of room down at the city landfill. So then the third part of this would be an educational program so that we can get some signage, get some locking gate access to the town highway department and show the watershed how it can be done. So the first question to you is, do you want me to try to look into this? If the answer is no, that's cool. I just need to know because, as you know, deadlines are fast approaching. And then the second question has to do with, oh, by the way, and that grant provides funding from $11,000 to $100,000. They're also providing funds available for forest conservation grant to purchase lands. And those are grants from $50,000 to $300,000 up to $1 million is available, but the highest grants go up to $300,000. And a lot of the smaller parcels, arguably, you're right, they're already protected because they're either under wetland status designated, or they're owned by or an existing nonprofit. So for example, Sacred Heart Church owns a chunk of land that includes one of the finest wetlands in the county. It's undisturbed, it is uncontaminated by invasive plants, and the church owns it. So yeah, they're already not paying taxes. And it's already protected. But we could get a grant, we could buy it from them, and maybe they could use the money. I don't know if you wanna do that. You got little parcels up there along the avenues on that paper streets. They could add to the existing property the town already owns, because it's not going to be developed, right? It's in 2 overlay districts. It doesn't make sense to go in there and pretend like developing in that wetland is a good idea. So I don't know if you want me to pursue either of them or talk about it.
For the first one, you're proposing a regional grant with what municipalities again?
City of Auburn and Management Council.
Well, my original idea was to work with you in the city of Auburn, but maybe we ought to focus on the watershed as a whole, because that'd be an important partner when competing for the funding. But if you just want it to be Owasco, then we could just partner with the watershed group, but the limitation you've got is, especially since that wetland remediation project has taken a chunk of area out of the town highway department, you don't got a lot of room to do that kind of mechanical approach.
And I think if we do go forward with it, Hunter Brook goes into the city of Auburn, Hope Park that way. So I think it goes into their watershed that way to Seneca County.
On that acquisition project, yeah.
Yep. How much time do you think it's gonna involve getting that grant ready and up and going?
I have no idea.
I think we should do those marching orders.
Yeah, I think if we can apply, if we can accept or not accept if we get it, so. That's.
Yeah, and I think if you go with a regional grant, you're gonna have a higher probability of getting it. Usually regional grants
The more you
Rate
can
higher.
validate.
on, yeah,
So a regional approach on the invasive plant,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
what do you wanna
definitely.
do about that acquisition idea?
What property would you wanna purchase? That's,
Sacred Heart.
That area between the Owasco Elementary School and all the way over towards Sacred Heart, where the paper streets come in from the western side, you've got lots of parcels up there. You could find out if there's any interest to sell.
Catholics don't need more money.
If you leave it long enough, it's close enough, Mike Antonacci will just.
Yeah, dig through it.
Dig through it. My concern is. I mean, you don't perform this function for free. Right? I mean, we're gonna pay you to go out and get this grant and work on this, right? No,
No,
you're doing it for free? What are you, crazy?
I can't. It's unethical. It's conflict of interest. So when I wrote that grant application for the tree removal project,
Mhm.
I mean, I wrote myself into it. Later, if we get the grant, somebody has to administer the grant. That's one thing, but I mean, I never billed you for actually drafting it. And, you know, I guess we thought it was competitive, don't you think?
Yep, oh yeah, the grant that we put in for, it was very extensive, very well written and.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
Have they awarded or
we don't know
made a
yet.
decision? Okay.
We,
I mean, I don't wanna waste your time. I would go for what you think is gonna be our biggest shot on getting something. I think that regional invasive species management grant is probably the best.
I agree. I
And it
mean,
also solves another problem where we need a place to mulch and compost
Well, the
and get
landfill.
stuff out of the highway garage, which is overflowing with stuff up
We'll
there.
put it up the
So
golf course.
so Rich, do you think that the church would be willing to sell that if we got a grant? That part, some of that wetland area? I know they wanted to give it away before.
The lots that are over there?
No, the Sacred Heart,
Behind the parking lot.
they have both. They have lots and.
they do have partial lots down in the Paper Street area, but you're talking they would be due south of there, right? In that area that goes behind Bench Track and the cemetery on Melrose.
the one off the paper streets on Second Ave, Third Ave. That the town owns many parcels.
Yeah, I know
down there.
that part. I'm talking where you're talking the wetlands that would go if you were to just start walking out of Sacred Heart towards Sharon Street.
From Sacred Heart
Yeah,
down towards the school.
yeah, the Sharon Street area, so that's up.
I think the church would jump at the chance if they could sell it, anything to get money.
So I would say let's go for it, in my opinion. Want to take a roll call, just say, we'll just do it, since we're not costing us anything, anybody against it?
I guess I'm not sure. Well, you just said it's currently the best wetland in the county. It's pristine, it's preserved, so why mess around with it? Why not just leave it alone?
It's a great point.
You know,
I mean, I could counter that, the church could sell in 2 years and anyone could own it at that point in time, so.
Church selling churches, is that right?
You know, that they've been doing, so,
yeah,
I'm just counter, I don't wanna
Yeah.
waste his time either, like, if it's something that he doesn't feel that, we're kind of just. Hoping that we find something they'll apply for a grant for, and it doesn't really look that good on paper, and. Are we gonna get it, you know what I mean, so.
Yeah, no, I think that, I mean, those are two separate things, the church acquisition versus they're two separate projects, basically. I mean, I don't have any strong feeling against it. That was my only concern was, why are we?
All right, so let's concentrate on the invasive plant one and try to do an awesome bang up job on that.
Okay,
I like that idea.
okay. Stay with me. All right. Anybody else like to be heard?
We do
Anything?
have these bids here too. I don't know when you wanna.
Okay, yeah, do it a second. Got one more.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joshua Chiz, and you all know, but just wanted to let everyone know that I'm running for county legislature in Owasco and Senate, and the new District 5. Aileen McNabb Coleman is our current incumbent, and I'm endorsed by the Republican Conservative parties, and really just want to do what's best for our towns and for our county. So any questions, feel free to look me up, and I can be glad to share more information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
Okay. Nobody online, right?
Still nobody on.
No.
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, new business. I forward today a letter from Matt Zarbo to everybody. Those of you who know, we got I hate to say it, we got a $2.5 million grant for us to replace the aging infrastructure on 3 streets, which is, no sidebars back there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hear the grant.
Yeah, we want to replace Stryker Ave combined sewer system and put a new sewer system in Van Dyne and Third Ave, I believe it is. And with the $2.5 million project, it should pay for hopefully. I don't know what when we originally bid it was $3.5 million, so it's probably up to $5 million now. So we did apply for other grants. We had grants and other grants to capitalize more on that. We have the original design done, and I did get the PDF that from Matt Zarbo today. We'll put it up on the website, but what they want us to do is to hold a public meeting to explain to the people on those 3 streets, what the project is, what the impact will be, and then any potential costs that the individual homeowner might have. One of the reasons we're doing this is that the avenues are a combined sewer and storm system, and they contribute to a major amount of infiltration that goes into the city of Auburn, which is probably calculated close to, if not over $1 million a year that we're spending to treat clean water, especially when they raise the rates. We we want to use these 3 streets as a test sample. We have previous readings of inflow, and then we want to be able to test it afterwards to determine exactly how much infiltration we saved, and we'd be able to calculate what our savings would be going forward and doing the rest of the streets. What it's going to involve is taking the old sewer storm system, making that the storm system, putting in a new sewer system that's tight and clean, and also replacing the water lines on those streets while we have the street dug up, so we don't have to go back and do that down the road. Then we'll put a all new road in for each one of those 3 streets. It's gonna be an inconvenience for the homeowners. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, but it is something that needs to be done. And there may be some additional cost for the homeowner, because depending on where their lateral comes out of their house, they may have to make some plumbing modifications to accommodate the lateral going into the main. So that will be all, engineers will be there to be able to explain it to people. So we need to schedule a public hearing, either have it here or have it at the firehouse. And I'd rather get it done now, because what we have to do is, once we have that public hearing, we're gonna be able to set up individual home visits at each house. And we have to get in there with a crew, and Bob's crew will be trained to do this along with the engineers, to go in and shoot elevations, and so that we can do final design work once people go into these houses. So, and determine, we would mark out where everything is once we get inside the houses.
Question?
Yep.
Does that eliminate this pump station on Striker Ave?
Not yet, no, not yet. It will reduce some of we're only doing 3 streets. So eventually it may, if we do all the streets,
Hopefully, yeah.
but it right now, no, but it'll help with some of the flow issues that we're having as well. Because we did have some flow issues, and with the tank, we spent millions of dollars with we spent millions of dollars before on New York's DEC gave us citations where we had to spend millions of dollars to protect some of the overflows that were pumping into Hunter Brook, and we built the tank over here. We spent a lot of money, but the problem is the I&I getting into the problems. Now we're fixing the problem. We're not putting Band-Aids on it. So, but that $2.5 million grant we got from Cackle's office before he left truly will help out to do that. And we're, this has been 4 years in the works so far to get to where we are right now. So we're at I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, Jeremy, can we use the firehouse on some night?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for this, you've done in the past.
Yeah,
so,
what nights are better to use than
Just
what?
on Mondays, we'll talk, we'll figure out a
Okay.
schedule at the end of something that it'll be, I'm assuming like probably 7 o'clock at night.
Yep. Yep.
Is
Okay,
there
all
a
right.
plan already done for that?
The preliminary plans, yeah.
Did they come up,
Preliminary,
they
yeah.
come up with a final design yet, or are we still not that? point?
Not the final, it says right here, it says in the letter that I forwarded to you today, it said that the detailed engineering study for this project is available. So we got a detail, it's called a detailed engineering study. We had to study it, but not the plans.
Okay.
So the study's done. So I can provide that. I'm gonna give it to Tammy tomorrow. We'll put it on the website, and we will have a hard copy here printed out so people can come in and look at it. But that will be in the letter, and the letter is already written up, ready to go, but we just gotta add the dates and time. Yep,
Now, this project is gonna get the sewer out of the water from the rains and all that will be separate from the stormwater.
Yeah.
Stormwater law.
On grants, that grant makes sense. The infrastructure is helping the town,
praise the Lord.
100%.
Yep,
And
Save us a lot of money.
there's a
so.
lot of stuff that needs doing that way. And I just can't support any idea of grants going out in the swamps or buying land we got enough issues, there's problems. To get the money to grants tax to help what we got needs fixing before pursuing more problems. I just wanted to clarify, yes, I'm against grants, especially when it's wasteful. This is good common sense that needs to be done.
Yep.
So I agree, you know, like I say, I don't come to, only a couple meetings, but some stuff irks me that we're wasting a lot of money and it ain't gonna amount to nothing, but that is a good project. I would endorse pursuing that.
Yeah, we pay over $200,000 a year to treat rainwater. So anything we can do to eliminate that rainwater. Is sure.
Save a ton of money.
To let the stormwater go out on the land, on the grass,
Well, the problem is,
not in the sewer.
yeah, the problem here is the footer drains and all those things are tied into they're all tied into the sewer, yeah.
A lot of,
They did
lot of
it
basin,
recently, tied into the sewer.
Well, you're the exception.
a lot of basin water.
in there a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah, the majority of these houses, I would say, Rich, I mean, 90% of these houses or more are tied into the footer drains are tied in. And some people even have their eaves,
Some, and there's some
dumping
pumps.
their
and
eaves into the,
downspouts, yeah.
That's
And look
what,
at all the
that's what-
rainwater, just.
and there's some
down the
pumps.
roads, that should be
We,
just going,
the
not in
town,
the sewer.
the town went and did inspections and they did smoke tests before and we go in there and we eliminate them and then a week later they're hooked back up again. You know, so it's,
Yeah, that's true. Send
Yeah.
them to the court.
we even had one person who used to work for the town had his yard draining into the sewer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously, he's not employed here anymore, is that correct?
he's dead.
Yeah.
He died.
we did away.
Second,
He would have been.
that's your warning, don't turn your water card in the
Right.
sewer, no.
Dead.
rough.
But that's,
We've been talking about this for 15 years.
what's
This way
that?
it was done years ago, everybody tied into the sewer.
Yeah, it was in the, it was how they flushed
That's the
things
way it
through.
did.
All right, so that's, so everybody got a copy of the letter,
Yeah.
approve the letter. Please read it.
it's well done.
Please, if you have any comments, anything you want to add to it, we'll add to it, but the final thing we're gonna do is make a decision. I'll talk
On
to
a date,
Jeremy,
yeah.
we'll get the firehouse reserved. And we'll send these letters out to all the people. And the nice thing about this is once we have the meeting, we'll send a letter out for the meeting, but we'll send this out as well. But people can just, if you're, unlike the old timers who don't have their smartphones, they have flip phones. They can scan the Q card here, and they can automatically takes them right to the website and they can sign up for an appointment automatically and then we'll be there. Or they can go online and do it, or they can call Tammy in this office to do it. So there's a lot of ways to schedule. They can schedule by phone, by email, online, or QR code. So,
Yeah.
all right, any other questions on that project? Good, thank you.
Where are Mr. Bruno's merry men?
Where are they? They're in Nottingham.
They're all over, and all over.
They're in Nottingham.
Okay.
All right. All right. Okay. They're not so merry anymore. They work with Bruno.
We'll leave it with Mr. Bruno. Very much.
All right, there you go. Okay, the next thing is, all right, no, I think that's it. Let's go to the, next page. Communications, everybody got a copy of the communications. We got a donation of $100 from Tim and Sue Kinsella from Bononia Springs, Florida. They use our pickleball courts all summer. They thought it was great. They donated $100 to the cause. We got a letter from Lydia Martini complimenting the town on the pickleball facility. She used it all summer and had a great time with the people that were over there. She came up and they trained her and taught her how to play and she was appreciative. And this young lady wrote us a letter thanking us. And anytime we get a thank you letter, it's nice. Before I move on to resolutions, also, we have this weekend, we do have the trash, whatever you call it, Bob, the
Town cleanup.
town cleanup on Saturday from 7 to 1 for dumpster day, dumpster diving. If you got anything you want to throw away, you can bring it up there and throw it away. And then we have the shredding machine coming from 9 to noon on Saturday. So if you want to bring Fred, all your taxes and money that you don't need, you want to burn it
Yeah.
shred it?
I shred things every day.
Okay,
Yeah, keeps up on it.
That's right.
okay.
And
So,
e-waste.
E-waste, electronic recycling event.
e-waste, all that kind of stuff. Yep, Josh.
You mind if I-
No, go ahead.
So, my son Joseph and I will be up there, helping, Joseph will be giving back to this community. who gave so much to us, and, I don't wanna commingle personal side with the, campaigning, I know it's recorded and everything, but I just wanna say thank you to, you all at that table and to our community. We were a month ago, and we continue to be, humbled and overwhelmed by the incredible support of our community. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, I thought it was spectacular myself, and it just, the outpour is good.
Jumping back for a second to
Yep.
old business, the. Property up in the hamlet,
We're thinking about that.
so was I.
Could we at next meeting have a resolution done so we can get it?
I'd like to be able to. I definitely like to have the property transferred before my last day.
I can
here.
understand
That would be nice. That would be nice.
We can do it next month.
It's up to the lawyers.
It can be finished next month because the fire commissioners meeting is a week later than normal, so.
We're able to get it
Everything would be
moving
lined
in
up.
the right direction so that we can get it done.
Did you need me to resend what their request was?
We need
Just
a couple of
assurances.
things. One, we need to schedule the survey to get it subdivided, but I do think it would be helpful because we also needed to pass a resolution of commitment to the fire department, saying that these are the things that we're going to do, and there's a couple of things that they don't want us to do that we need to commit to.
They're just making sure you're not gonna use the property for any other purpose, that it's not gonna be sold. It would go back to the district if you decide to take no action, and that you're gonna upgrade the playground equipment.
Right.
So basic stuff, just
So if he sends you the verbiage or whatever that they're looking for, if we can put it in a resolution format.
Okay, great, y'all start with that?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, the next resolution, which is 2313, was tabled last month. And before we even do anything, I just want to bring it up that we've got a couple options here. We have a determination that we can take money out of the reserve for something that was already paid for and to reimburse the account that it was intended from. However, looking at the long-term picture, all we're doing is taking it out to pay for something that's already paid for.
Yeah.
But then we're depleting our reserve fund.
Yeah.
And our budget this year was to add $5,000 to it. Another thing that we could do is not do anything, leave it in the reserve fund and just build on it so that we have cash in the reserve fund for the next purchase down the road. To me, that makes more sense.
I'm
So,
good with that. I've already made my statement regarding all this, so what do you
Yeah.
guys wanna do?
with that, I would like to make a motion to discuss.
Oh,
Second.
Is there any favor of voting this in, or would you like to just, not take action?
Leave it right where it is, as far as I'm concerned.
We talked about it last time too.
Yeah, we have, but the question was, we wanted the interpretation from the accountant and interpretation from the lawyer. And both have agreed that it can be done if we wanted to do it. Now is the question is, do we want to do it? So I could care less either way. You said leave it in there,
Leave it in a reserve fund.
save up for the rainy day for next time. So it's up to you guys what you want to do. I'll go with whatever anybody else wants to do. Is that okay with everybody? So let's vote,
Yeah.
let's vote it down.
voted. I'm good with
Okay,
that, yeah.
all those in favor,
I,
all against, A.
again, in favor,
I
yeah.
got you know.
Against, yep, we're voting it down,
Okay,
okay?
It's done.
The next one, requesting, this is a request primarily to work with the city of Auburn. The request that the governor and state representatives and federal representatives adopt and implement a total maximum daily low, which is called a TMDL. Just have a motion for discussion, I can explain.
Move.
Second.
So there's two plans that can go into effect, which is 9E plan, which has already been adopted and we spent years on, which does point source pollution. And then there's a TMDL, I'm sorry, TMDL is point source pollution and a 9E is non-point source. So non-point source would be like farmland, stuff like that, that you don't have an outlet, you don't have a sewage treatment plant, you don't have a pipe coming out of a field. So that's a point source. Non-point source comes from ditches, comes from rain, comes from the forest, comes from everywhere. So what the city wants to do is to ask for both to help further their protection. And there's also the EPA has already put us on a 303D list, which is an impaired body list, and the state is obligated to anything on the 303D list to come up with a TMDL. So what the city is asking,
Letters and numbers.
yeah, too many acronyms. So basically what they want to do is ask the state, and it's up to the state to do it, whether they want to do it or they don't do it. So all we're doing is asking the state to fund and provide money to implement the findings from the study that they would be obligated to do. So that's what this is asking for in layman's
And
terms.
this is separate from the fight over the watershed rules.
Yes,
Right.
totally separate.
Right.
Totally separate. Yep. So it has nothing to do with the rules and regs. This is a plan to protect
Yeah.
Owasco Lake and its drinking water and source and non-point source protection.
Basically just a call to action by us to the state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any objections or comments they want to make? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next thing. Tammy, I need a certified copy sent to this, to the people. There's a list on there we gotta send out that you want to send it to. Yep. Next one is this was a last minute addition right here. Darcel told me, Bob, is running low on some grinder pumps. And so we want to purchase some more grinder pumps for future replacements. We have a reserve fund set up. We talked to Rick probably around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Rick, found a previous resolution that was done in 2018. And this resolution copies exactly what we did before. And it allows us to spend up to $30,000. We don't think we're gonna need that much, but what this will help us do is I think we need about $15,000 to $20,000 worth of stuff. But if for some reason these E1 pumps are over 20 years old and they were designed to last 15 to 20 years. And not too many have failed, but something, I would say not even probably 20% have failed. In case we need to buy a couple more before the end of the year, we would have the money there and we wouldn't have to come back for an additional resolution. We can buy them if we need them. So that way we don't run out.
Might save money.
Yeah,
Price.
yeah.
What's your pump go for?
Bob, what's the price of it?
Roughly, I don't
I
care.
think I'm guessing 6,000 to
Just
8,000.
roughly, Bob.
We buy a 10-pack, they're at 2,400
Oh,
for a 10-pack.
Okay,
If
For
we
a
buy 'em-
10-pack.
If you buy, like 2 or 3 at a time, they whack us like 2,900.
each.
Each, yeah.
Yeah, it's a saving.
I just bought 3 pumps from Seaward the other day, and they're gonna take an increase. They're gonna take an increase the 1st of October.
okay. So we're gonna authorize up to $30,000. So let's order those pumps. Just what,
I forwarded it to tomorrow for a 10-pack. The
Okay.
top loose of something
okay,
a week ago,
okay,
right?
good. So any other question? Okay, motion?
Move. Second.
Okay, Tammy,
Tammy.
Fred, then,
We have to put it in the paper, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
Fred and Mike, you make a motion.
okay, Fred and Mike,
Yeah.
okay.
And
Because
then,
I saw it had to go in the paper, so I didn't know if you could order them before it went in the paper.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, there you go.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Good. Okay. We got a recommended budget modifications.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And before we go, we gotta open the bids.
So we got bid opening here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, in a second. Okay, the next thing is, and then we actually, let's open the bids, we gotta do a resolution to approve the bids too.
Yeah.
So we didn't put that on there.
All right, oh, so what about, you've got three different,
Okay, so there's-
budget match, you
there's
want
three-
them all
there's
one
three-
together?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's-
okay, all
there's three
together.
different budget mod, one was to take the reserve fund and put it here, then I want to take, spend the reserve fund, the other one's to regular budget modification.
So we'll just join them into all one
I
then.
just make a motion to
Okay.
bundle them and
Yeah,
Bundle them,
Okay.
okay, okay.
Okey dokey.
okay, and then the next thing is. Is to
Audit
approve the
claims.
audit and payment of claims.
Second.
Any discussions on it, audit and payment of claims? I went through them, you went through them?
Yep.
You went through 'em?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Good.
so all those in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
Under Floral.
let's open the
Letter
bids.
Opener.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it?
So this one is Finger Lakes Exteriors.
What is for the roof project?
Yeah.
Yes.
Want to pass it down to and make sure that I'm seeing 55, so make sure it's right there, the numbers. 55,000, I think it says,
Yeah,
a whole bunch of right.
55,900. you have to read it.
55,900.
Yeah, and we gotta make sure these are, they're under, the one thing we gotta verify once we see it, if it's under, they're paying prevailing wages. I don't know who this other person is either.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this person called the other day and wanted to make sure it was prevailing rate. We said yes. So,
Okay.
yeah, he did call. And certified payroll,
Yeah.
he said.
Mhm.
We don't
Okay,
got-
so that one was 55,900 for Finger Lakes.
We gotta make sure insurance is there too as well.
Yeah, we should scan each packet.
62,557, but you look it over in case there's something. Here's his insurance as well.
Okay,
Yeah, he didn't have anything with him.
I don't think it's required for here until.
Yeah, before the.
Yeah, before the work starts, that's all. Tear off existing, install.
And if we want 2 and 5.
Barrier.
We want 2 and 5 million on the insurance.
That's all that came in, were two.
That's it.
Well, we got two.
I'm surprised.
Wow, yeah,
There's only two.
it was advertised and actually we had a company
You're
call
lucky you
and
get
wanted.
two nowadays. It's
Yeah.
it's embarrassing. The
I'll-
roof I did
I'll
over there, I think
I'll
I
send it
did
right
it.
What was it, what exactly, Jeremy, do you remember? Well, I'll have them and Maureen scan them, so.
Oh, you gotta read them.
Yeah.
I gotta read this other one.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So the motion would be to take the lowest bid.
Yeah.
Pending
Pending
legal.
approval, like that.
approval.
Insurance.
You wanna see it, Fred?
Yeah,
Okay, you want to?
because everybody needs some time to review.
Yeah, yeah.
Review it.
So everything
It's
will
on
be
the
pending on
second
his,
page.
final review. I don't want to do it.
Mhm.
I got nothing to do with this.
Okay, I agree.
So the motion, Tammy, would be
You want it back, give it
give
to
it to
her.
her. Yeah, she's got a copy of everything else.
Pending.
Pending a legal review and
Legal.
approval.
Legal.
I don't know this guy.
You don't know, hold on a minute.
It's not required until.
What's the name? Who's the owner on that? Who, John?
We gotta be careful, so.
It's
Yeah.
Sean Flask.
Owasco, okay. This is.
You should
Sure.
check,
John
check,
Short.
He's
got all the
insurance, he just did the rough down St. Francis Church, he's got 2 million.
Which one? Finger Lakes Exteriors?
Yeah, they're.
Yeah.
I would just pass it as.
You gotta have 2 million.
a work
Just
done,
check the
lowest bid.
reputation.
I don't wanna be bothered.
Well, Flass is the one that did the other part of the roof up here like 6 years ago when we had the leak, when we had this ice built up and shit.
Yeah.
Coming in.
You're satisfied with the work?
Yeah,
They just make it subject to my review. I think
Yeah.
everybody's got to review
Quite a
everything.
different surprise.
Just- What's it? Was the amount?
You
Yeah,
all-
I like
Typed
that.
or was it written or just typed? Let me see.
What's that? The
No.
money?
Yeah. Okay. He just put, okay, 55.9. Sometimes they write it out. I wanted to make sure they match, but they wrote out FIF, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, okay.
Okay, so the motion's been made to accept upon legal review and approval.
The bid,
You want copies
The
or you
lowest
want-
bid on
no, just scan everything.
Scan
And
it.
for all
Everybody.
6 of us, yeah,
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
perfect.
Okay.
Except the
You want
bid
a
of
second? You made a motion.
Finger Lakes
No,
Exteriors.
That's the
It'll be-
motion. Who
be a-
wants to make who wants to approve, make the, that's the.
I'll make,
That's the resolution. Who wants to make the motion?
Make the motion.
to accept the
motion
bid
to
of
accept
Finger
it.
Lakes Exteriors in the amount of $55,900 pending
Review.
subject to, attorney,
Review.
town attorney review. That's all, and the necessary insurance information.
He's got the insurance.
So who's making that motion then?
I made the motion and
Sure, sure.
Fred seconded it.
Sure.
And all approved?
Aye.
Approved.
Aye. Okay, anything else, folks?
No executive session or anything?
What's that?
No exec or anything?
No.
Okay, just make sure.
We do have to start looking at, budget stuff went out. We gotta start looking at scheduling a budget,
Budget hearing.
couple budget meetings.
Good job.
So we gotta see what time, I'll send you an email and give you some dates, what time's good. for you.
I think we should cut everybody's salary.
Good luck with that.
I'm gonna go to UAW, 32
I
hours.
make a motion.
Yeah.
Second.
We're gonna go on 12, 15% a year, but that's, we can have a big